Actually, although the Constitution of India provided a special status under 370 and 35A, but that doesn't mean that this was something of a domestic nature. It was not of a domestic nature because in this international law was involved, and there were commitments by India since partition about keeping it a special status until its fate is decided. So to say that this is a domestic affair of India and they could change the constitution, it's not correct. So 370, by doing that, they have just thrown to the winds the commitments made by India to the international community, to the people of Azad Jammu and Kashmir. Because after all, at the time of partition, these people had to decide their own fate. And you know the chicanery which took place, the Constituent Assembly didn't decide it at that time also. And this time also there was no assembly deciding it. It was a governor who is an appointee of the federal government who just decided. An important factor like annexation, how is that possible? Annexation doesn't take place like this. So, and this is happening under at a time when about 900,000 military men are present there with their bayonets and guns, killing Kashmiris, destroying their homes, their households, and torturing people and committing all sorts of crimes against humanity. So under this, bringing about a change as if it were a constitutional change in India, a constitution for India, no, this is not possible. Well, an army which is usurping, an army which is forcibly occupying, a territory which is under forceful occupation, like we see in the case of Azerbaijan and Armenian case and the other many other cases, like even in the case of Israel and all, where this is happening. The fact that they do all those things as if it's a domestic problem is not acceptable. This is not their sovereignty nor their territory. This is a disputed territory. So, and whatever is coming up is not coming up because of the violation of the people who had to exercise their right of plebiscite at the time of partition, and this was all put off under one promise or the other, or under one trick or the other. So this belongs to the Kashmiris, and they are not participant in it, and this is being done under duress. It has no value at all. So an occupying force, if it changes certain things, these are never recognized, and that is one of the doctrines in the American jurisprudence often pertaining to international law. I'm just forgetting its name. It's Stemol doctrine, by which it is said that no, you can't do it. It does, but who is to take it? A state can take it to ICJ and nothing else, but ICJ has taken some views in case of human rights issues pertaining to Latin America and Mexico, USA, and so on and so forth. But here too the states had gone. In our case, I think, if the state is shy about going because of diplomatic reasons and so on, then and of course for many other reasons the states have their own problems. Then we have an opening, and that window is R2P. So we should go by R2P, where we don't require formalities like procedure, like the charter of the ICJ requirements and so on and so forth. We can just go plainly on the grounds of human right violation. And we could have taken the Gambian model, but a state has to go, so where to find the state? That is a bit of a difficulty. So leave the state, there is an opening, and we can go under this, and there is a lot of case law also on this, precedents, and we can work on it. Actually, Pakistan policy is in support of the Kashmiri people, in support of plebiscite. So there is no alteration in that policy. But what I would say that there is indolence. It's not been pursued with vigor as it should have been. In fact, I am of the view that Azad Kashmir government could have been an agent for Kashmiri people, because this is Azad Kashmir, it's liberated, and to have taken the matter forward to every capital of the world. They have done nothing in that respect. I haven't seen it. I've seen many other people doing it, but not this, not the Kashmiri people. Well, it's horrible, it's horrendous, because all for which people like Gandhi fought, this is being destroyed by the biggest democracy in the world. They have colonized it and doing worse things than even the British, and that's what they've been doing. Kashmir has been very badly treated. For instance, the sale to the Dogras, and then later on this was a princely state, and it had a separate status, and that status had to be determined by the Independence Act and other acts regarding Kashmir. So they have been very badly treated, and sometimes I have a complaint to divinity that why such good people and such a beautiful place is getting such a treatment. How is that possible? But anyway, unfortunately, you have India with Hindu Vata as the philosophy now, and with a person as Mr. Modi trying to destroy the ethnicity, and he's against religion of Islam and so on and so forth, whereas the majority there is Muslims. So I would say that it is rather unfortunate that this is happening with such people, and but there has been, sir, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Now, when I go through several things, I feel that there is a vested interest of many countries in Kashmir. I have seen, if you read this book, the World Order by Henry Kissinger has recently come, and I've got a copy of it. They all want a world order, which means, in the case of the Treaty of Palia, the sovereignty of states had to be preserved, you see. But there are certain states who are outgoing that and creating problems for others. So in that case, a power which is higher can always come in to do that. Henry Kissinger quotes, let's say, the Ottomans at one time, and not the Mughals, but the Ottomans he thinks of. They had that superpower. Then the Europeans, and now we have the Americans, and I think Chinese are coming up. Chinese are also there. So if there were a world order that way, where a power should have come in, then this would have been stopped. but they have a vested interest. In Kashmir originally, the ambition was to have their own sovereignty there. Even at the time of partition, they were doing it. It was sold to the Dogras because they were scared of the Russians coming in. The Russians also had a great game. They wanted to also take over this, and so on. So they are all involved, but practically that didn't happen. And what happened was that because the decision to join India or Pakistan was also delayed, and so it was not done quick. It should have been done immediately like other states. So why it all happened? There was a vested interest. Many countries, many superpowers of the time wanted to have a foot in Kashmir, and to like you have it now in Afghanistan. They want to have a foot. So that world order sort of a thing is always in the way. I feel that, but things have now gone differently, and an outsider cannot now come in, and it's then a problem between India and Pakistan, basically, and is being overseen by China. So this sort of a thing. But you are strategically located, and that is also your problem. Actually, when it is arm versus arms, then it's a conflict, it is called as. And there too, there is prohibition about ethnic cleaning, about this. But the right to defense is always the correct right. And that plea was taken even in the case of Serbia and all by the Kosovos and so on. So it is recognized that you can defend yourself. This is a worldwide recognition. These groups which are formed to protect themselves, either it has to be proved that they overwhelm the huge 900 army. This can't be proved. So there are little groups trying to defend their men, their women, and their folks from all the nonsense like rape and such. But a liberating army has been given a status. So it's not that they are in a conflict with a state and under international law they can't do it. No, a liberating army has been recognized always. Let me say that they are fighting violence, with whom they are fighting, that is not their territory. You see, India, as a matter of fact, is an outside party compared to the Kashmiris, and Kashmiris have a right to defend themselves. So, like they say in England, your home is your fort, and when it is a fort, you defend it, you see. So, these type of groups who are defending, but they are local, and they are not terrorists, you see. So, these people would always be given the right to defend, because right to defend is an inherent right. So you can't see women being raped in your presence by people who have, because if it were, let's say, Madras, if it were New Delhi, if it was something else, that is, then the sovereignty of India is involved. But here, Indian sovereignty is in dispute. So people who have come up to fight against those, and as we say, things speak for itself. What it speaks is that such a big army with so much armaments, and these people are throwing stones. So where is the violence? So if it were they had some superior weapons or something superior. The women are fighting. The women are out. Why they are fighting? Because they are resisting. So this is a resistance movement and not a aggression. So it's justified. Actually, with the other like the Tashkent Declaration coming in, the Shimla Declaration coming in, things have been given different interpretations, legally speaking. But we all know that it is a disputed territory. This is recognized all over the world. How to help the two nations? How to help how to come out of this problem and resolve it, and that will be building up pressure in the world against India, and nothing else. Because India, I don't think a war can help. The best thing is that we build the world opinion to such an extent that then they give up. And these examples can be found at many places. Even in the Gandhian way, he would, that was non-violence. He still achieved it. So see, there has to be new methodology and new leadership taking up this. So I've suggested R2P. I've also suggested that we go, at least what is happening is that the people here in the Foreign Office and elsewhere have just proclaimed that we will have a desk for Kashmir everywhere, we will have this everywhere, we will have this everywhere. But where is it? So it's rhetoric. And I must say that the government of Azad Jammu and Kashmir should take the onus, should take the brunt. Where are their envoys? They don't have envoys who should have gone by this time, because they have already been liberated as they claim. So why can't they send their envoys? They have the resources. They can send it. They can take this on themselves. So even for R2P they can go. Otherwise, I think we can't leave it to them entirely. We should agitate this as a group. But there must be a group. Well, I think I've met you, I've met your other friends, and I find that you people are very dedicated, and you are taking forward a mission, you see. And when you are taking forward a mission, you are bound to succeed, because you don't have any vested interest or personal interest. You are fighting for the people for this freedom of the people of Kashmir. So people who have this ambition never get defeated, and I think you people have come all the way, and you have organized yourself here, and I know that there would be for you it will be difficult circumstances, because organizing things and spending all that and so on, and doing it in meager ways, you see. But what I always suggest is that meager ways and big spirit bring the result. This I've seen in so many movements.